live. Welcome back to the MANCAVE show. This is episode 1. We were going to stream this on YouTube. However, YouTube has this stupid rule where you can only stream 24 hours after your account was created. The account was created this morning, so we're broadcasting it on here. We have a guest joining us today to talk some NFL football. However, I just want to first update on some things that have been going on in the NBA. So, the Mavericks have officially been eliminated, ending their Cinderella run. By no means was it a surprise that they got eliminated. They were going up against Golden State. However, they've had this Cinderella run. They beat the number 1 seed in the entire league. And now, sadly, they've been eliminated. I have no doubt that they will be back again and expect them to be very aggressive this offseason. Alright, and also in other news, the Steelers have hired Omar Khan as their general manager, and we have Sally Green, a lifelong Steelers fan, to be joining us to discuss that. So, what are your thoughts?
What are my thoughts?
Yes, what are your thoughts on this decision?
On the decision for
the general manager.
Oh, I think it's a great decision. Number one, he's been part of the organization for 21 years. So he's had a lot of roles within the organization. And even before that, he had a really big role with the Saints, helping with offensive coordinator, which obviously is going to pair greatly with the new triple quarterback decision. You know, who's going to be the main quarterback this year with 3 people kind of in the running. But yeah, I mean, he's still a young guy. He, I'm sure, knows the Steelers organization, undoubtedly knows the Steelers organization backwards and forwards because he's been there so long. And, you know, he probably still has some really fresh ideas to bring to the table. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. You know, all the players know him. Everybody in the organization, I'm sure, trusts him and likes him. So it's, I think it was just kind of the next natural step for him.
All right, and going back to what you said with those 3 quarterbacks, I'm not sure who the third one is. I'll have to do my digging into that. However, the main 2 that we've been seeing talked about in the media, Mitch Trubisky and Kenny Pickett, of those 2, which one do you think would be the best quarterback to start to get the Steelers back to being contenders? Because they're probably going to have a down year this year with the retirement of Big Ben and the exit of Juju Smith-Schuster. So which quarterback out of those 3 quarterbacks that you were talking about do you think has the best chance of getting the Pittsburgh Steelers back to a contending team?
Well, I mean, obviously, that's going to depend on who performs the best in the practices. I personally think that Rudolph might be the person to lead them off, because he's kind of been in the shadows, and no one really knows what he can do because he's been in Ben Roethlisberger's shadow for the last, 3 years. So he's not been able to show us anything. So I kind of feel like he's going to be given more of an opportunity probably in pre-workouts and in preseason practices than the other 2. But if it had to come down between Trubisky and, our latest draft, then it's definitely going to be Trubisky because, going from college to the NFL is a completely different animal. And, Trubisky's already got, I think 50 career starts. He's been in the playoffs. He was even in the Pro Bowl. So he's definitely got the experience. And, is probably going to be able to handle the pressure a lot better than, someone who's brand new, just coming out of college, not really experienced what it's like, to be in an opposing team's NFL stadium and be the guy everybody hates.
Yeah. And going back to what you mentioned on that transition from college to the NFL, there has also been some concern. I know it's mainly been jokes, but there has also been real concern from members of the media about the hand size of Kenny Pickett. Can you give us an insight to that?
No, I can't give any insight into that, although, he was a great quarterback for his college. Pittsburgh the Pitt University, it's not really, I guess, a school that you think of right off out of the bat when you think of good college teams. But they do have a winning record, and I know he had a very good career there, so I'm sure his hands are completely fine.
Yes. Yeah. Another thing that I would like to touch on is when you are a team like the Steelers, you're in the AFC North, which is proving to be one of the best quarterback divisions in football. You've got Joe Burrow, Deshaun Watson, and Lamar Jackson. So when you're a team like the Steelers that doesn't really have a quarterback that's proven like those other three, how do you think that the Steelers should go about dealing with that and dealing with being in such a tough division and how to overcome that?
It's that's a good question because I don't know. I'm not a coach. I don't know how you really overcome something like that because you're right. I mean, our division is arguably the toughest one in the entire NFL, and it's kind of like the SEC of the NFL. That's where all the big players seem to go on both sides of the line. And you talk about how good the other quarterbacks are. Well, their defensive lines are just as tough and hard to combat. So I think it's just going to take a different level of practicing. And again, maybe this is where the new GM is going to come in with some good ideas with his offensive coordinating background. But it's going to be a really, really tough year for the Steelers because you have three people who aren't completely comfortable in that position. And you've also got three people who, other than Rudolph probably, who aren't that comfortable with, their offensive linemen. There's just a whole big trust factor there. So I think a lot is going to have to happen in preseason practices.
Yes. So, thank you for that insight. We are going to take a really short break here. When we come back, we will have another guest to touch on another quarterback conundrum. Instead, this one is going down in Carolina. So, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back after that.
Thanks for having me, little Gucci Flexer.
You're very welcome. And we are back, folks. This time we are going to touch on another division that could be considered relatively tough at the quarterback position. We're going to go to Carolina. So I want to briefly touch on the two quarterbacks that Carolina does have. And out of those two, which one do you think, as a Carolina fan, is the best one, Sam Darnold or Matt Corral? Which one do you think is?
Oh, I'm sorry. So I'm gonna go with, I don't know. I think Mac Ryan, you need to give him a chance. The way Darnold's played last year wasn't exceptional. I mean, it is his first year. You need to give him a little bit of time, but he just hadn't shown anything to me that is too impressive. So, in my opinion, go with Corral to start.
Yes. And you guys do have a third quarterback in Cam Newton. What is your opinion on keeping Cam Newton? Do you think that the Panthers keep Cam Newton, or do they try to trade him off and get a little bit of draft capital out of that?
I mean, I'm still a Cam Newton fan. Not only because he's a good guy, but also just because I think he's still got it in him. He's just we've never given him the offense to really capitalize on what he can really do. So, but I don't know. On the other hand, like you said, it's not a bad idea to maybe throw him out there and see if we can't get something for him.
Yes, and you guys are also in a relatively tough division. Of course, you have Tom Brady with the Buccaneers super team, but it seems like everybody nowadays is sleeping on the Saints with Jameis Winston, and they've made some pretty big moves this offseason. So what is your opinion on how Carolina should try to get around being in this tough of a division and get around Tom Brady and the Buccaneers and Jameis Winston and the Saints?
I mean, anytime you're playing Tom Brady, it's going to be hard. I mean, he is the GOAT, so there's it's going to be hard to beat. Not so much worried about the Saints. I'm not sold on Winston either. I think the Saints are going to have to make some moves with a good quarterback or get somebody in there. That's what they're doing to really capitalize on all their other threats. They have a lot of good offense, a lot of threats on there, but I just don't think Winston gives them the the manpower, the leadership to get in there and really win out the division. So, and then on the Falcons side, I don't think anybody's worried about the Falcons. So.
Yeah. And also, I want to briefly touch on the fact that Carolina, they're definitely not going to be a contender this year, and they might not even be a contender next year. So when do you think that Carolina will be able to step up and become the powerhouse team that they once were?
Oh, you speak for yourself. It could be this year. You don't know. Make some moves. I mean, I'm a diehard Panthers fan, so I'm never going to say that we're not in it. But I don't know. I think it's going to take us a couple of years to really. I think we always got a shot, and I think it's going to be 2 or 3 years before we're back to where we are. We've got to figure out this quarterback situation. It's been plaguing us for a good while now. It's just one after the other, from one to the next, and not giving anybody time. And I think we should have stuck with Cam in the first place, but that's somebody that's above my pay grade. So
yes, and touching on what you said of how you would have stuck with Cam, what are some other decisions that you think you would have made to help Carolina after their decline after Super Bowl 50?
I mean, we've let everybody go. We don't go after people. We don't try to keep people. We just kind of letting Steve Smith go. That's a long time ago, but letting Steve Smith go. That's just a prime example, or just one example in a whole lot of times that we just give people away or let people go to the next place because we don't want to pay somebody. If we ever want to be one of those powerhouses and ever want to be one of those franchises that's in for the long haul, that's one of those Patriots or Steelers or Packers, if we're ever going to be that, we're going to have to start putting out some money. We're going to have to be an organization that keeps good talent on our team and still let them walk.
Thank you. You've given some great insight into the Panthers organization.
Can I add one more thing?
Oh, of course.
So we still may be going after Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
So I like Baker Mayfield. I don't know. A lot of people are down on Baker and they think he's over. Didn't really give him like everybody else doesn't get a shot. In NFL, if you start slacking at all, you're just done for. But I'm telling you, if we can come to some kind of and we can trade out Cam for some draft picks or for some other talent, some other positions, and then we could even play with getting rid of Darnold or even keeping him as a third string, but then pull in Baker Mayfield and give him a shot. I mean, I think he has a chance to be a top quarterback in this league. I think honestly, he could be a Hall of Fame quarterback one of these days. So that's the route I'm going.
All right, thank you for that insight. I would like to briefly highlight one more topic. You were mentioning Baker Mayfield. How do you think that the city of Cleveland, if they are planning on, I've seen some people saying that they are planning on keeping him as a backup to be, he is a decent quarterback, so keeping him as a backup if Deshaun Watson were to be suspended would have been a great idea if the Browns had handled the situation better. How do you think that the Browns could have handled that situation better in terms of keeping Baker Mayfield in Cleveland and keeping him happy where he is?
I mean, look, the Browns do what the Browns do. They they've been around a long time. They should know better. They should know how to handle these situations. I mean, they're one of the oldest teams in the league, and there's no team that even compares to screwing things up like the Browns. They can have some just unbelievable talent and just throw it away. It's amazing to me that a team can, have so many draft picks and draft where they do every year and that organization needs a complete overhaul. But I'm not saying Deshaun Watson's a bad pickup. Deshaun Watson is he's a stellar quarterback.
Yes. All right. Thank you for this interview. You've given us some great insight as to what it's like to be a Panthers fan and how you would have handled some situations that some lesser performing organizations would have handled and how you would have handled them better. Thank you for this interview.
Thanks for having me. You have a good day.
You too. All right, I hope you all enjoyed those interviews. That's going to about do it for this first episode of the Man Cave Show. Our last thing we have tonight, the Boston Celtics will be playing the Miami Heat in a game that could decide the series. The Heat are looking to force a Game 7. However, the Celtics are favored to win. And other than that, there is pretty much no more news. So thank you for tuning in, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, as that is where all future shows will be played, and most importantly, have a great day.